Good morning. Thanks for coming out here this morning. My name is Travis Allen. I'm currently the Chief of Police for Smithfield City Police Department. I hope everybody got our most recent press release that has some updated information about the incident that took place yesterday evening. I'm going to just briefly go over the statement. I'll ask you guys to hold all your questions till the end, and please understand this is still an ongoing investigation where investigators are still actively following up on leads, so there will be some questions that I won't be able to answer at this time, but I will try and answer as many as I can. On the evening of April 28, 2016 at 5:33 p.m., the 911 dispatch center in Logan, Utah received a call of a dispute that was occurring outside of a residence here in Smithfield at 160 South and 330 East. Dispatch was notified that there was an altercation and a male individual had possibly been stabbed. Officers from Smithfield City Police Department as well as Cache County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene. As officers responded, they both arrived in the area simultaneously. At that point, they observed a male individual that was laying in the roadway. This male has been identified as 58-year-old Calvin Leon Hallstrom of Logan, Utah. Calvin was lying at the driveway of 160 South and 300 East, or 380 East, excuse me. He was unconscious when officers arrived on scene, and he was bleeding heavily from the neck. Officers also observed a second adult male individual at the scene. He was identified as 25-year-old Shane Allen Hallstrom. Shane was kneeling in the roadway just a few feet from where Calvin's body was lying. Officers observed that Calvin was suffering from what appeared to be multiple stab wounds to the neck. At that point, officers were able to take Shane into custody, and medical was asked to come into the scene to attend to Mr. Hallstrom. At that point, Calvin was immediately transported by EMS to Cache Valley Hospital. Shortly after arriving at Cache Valley Hospital, efforts to save Calvin were unsuccessful and he was pronounced dead. Initial evidence of the scene identified Shane as a person of interest in the case. Shane at that point was taken to Logan City Police Department to be interviewed. Investigators from Smithfield City Police Department as well as Cache County Sheriff's Office and Logan City Police Department and the state medical examiner were dispatched to the scene and are assisting in the ongoing investigation. At this point, investigators have determined that Calvin Hallstrom is Shane Hallstrom's father. Shane's mother and father are divorced and have been for many years, and they currently live at separate addresses. We believe that Shane and Calvin were planning to make arrangements and meet at the incident address to spend the evening together. When Calvin arrived at the home, he met Shane outside of the home. At some point prior to them leaving, Shane produced a knife and proceeded to stab Calvin in the neck multiple times. Calvin collapsed to the ground and Shane remained on scene. The first officers, like I said, arrived within a few minutes of the incident, and it should be noted that the incident was also witnessed by other people, having occurred in the roadway at 5:33 in the afternoon. Investigators have conducted interviews with Shane and other witnesses involved in the incident. At this point, Shane has been unwilling to speak with police about his involvements in the incident. Investigators have obtained search warrants for the area, the property of the home, and the location where the incident took place. Evidence has been obtained in the search warrants that includes what we believe to be the knife that was involved in the incident. After reviewing this case with the Cache County Attorney's Office, Sufficient evidence has been established to warrant the arrest of Shane Hallstrom. Shane has been booked into the Cache County Jail on one count of suspicion of murder, a first-degree felony. At this point, a motive to the attack has not been established, and this, like I said, this case is still an ongoing investigation. That's all the update I have at this point. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Any idea where he got the knife from?
The knife was, I believe, it was recovered from the kitchen of the residence.
Could you describe, was it a kitchen knife?
Yes, it was a kitchen knife.
Paring knife, correct?
Yeah, it's a kitchen knife, 3-inch blade, I believe. It's a smaller knife. But
Has the family or anyone said what the two were arguing about before the knife was produced?
no, we haven't got that information at this point.
But there was an argument?
That's something we're trying to follow up on. We don't know how this altercation started. We just know that the two had met at the residence, and shortly after meeting there, the incident took place.
Was this residence Shane's residence, Shane's mother's residence?
Yeah, this is where Shane is currently residing here in Smithfield, and it is at his mother's home.
Calvin had been there before, and there were, this is per neighbors, arguments and get out of here type stuff, but he was invited over this time then?
From what we've found, we believe that the two had made an arrangement to spend the evening together, so yeah, it would appear that he was invited to the home to meet with Shane.
Has he cooperated, said anything to you since you took him into custody yesterday?
He has spoken with police, but he hasn't spoken with police regarding the incident that took place last night.
You said that he was kneeling near his father as officers arrived on the scene. Did officers describe, I mean, was he emotional, crying, just defiant? Could you describe his demeanor when they arrived?
What officers observed was just what they described as a blank stare. Just, I guess you could say the 1,000-yard stare.
Now, last fall, Shane's sibling was the one who stepped out in front of the truck, the transgender thing. Any relation to that?
We did get that information last night that that was his sibling, but at this point we have nothing that would relate the two incidents together.
Okay, nothing with relationship with the father, the three of them in that?
Not that we know of at this point.
What do you expect within the next 24, 48 hours? Is the investigation pretty much wrapped up at the home?
Right now, the investigation, like I said, is ongoing. We still have a few leads that we're following up on. I do have detectives out speaking with a few more witnesses, as well as the suspect. Still.
Your crime-free status, or your crime ranking, this kind of this is shocking to you, and I guess that will change.
It may. We have to do our UCR reporting each month, which we submit to the FBR, our crime stats. This may affect, where we sit as far as safe cities, but I don't know how that's going to play out.
But that makes it that much more shocking, or does it?
Yeah, because generally we don't see this type of crime in Smithfield.
Had Shane had any prior run-ins with officers? Had you been called to the home in the past over the past year?
Shane has a couple of past involvements with law enforcement, but nothing of a criminal nature.
Any domestic, argument so bad that maybe police were called there, or no?
Not that we can locate in our files.
Is there any indication what kind of relationship you have with his father?
Not at this point. That's something we're trying to figure out is where he stood with his relationship with his father.
But overall, would you say he's cooperated with officers? You said he really hasn't spoken. in regards to the incident?
He was cooperative with officers on scene, but yeah, he just hasn't spoke with us, but he was cooperative on scene.